Welcome to the Investor Tribe podcast. Today, we're joined by Jack Richardson of Big League Roofers. And so whether you are a first-time investor or managing multiple properties, roofing can be confusing. Jack is going to break it down for us today on this podcast, man.
Yes, he is. And today's show is brought to you by Big League Roofers. More on them later.
All right, I'm Milton Ali.
I'm Hampton Skurlock.
And we want to welcome you to the Investor Tribe podcast.
Late night grind, got the cash in the flow. Flipping these dreams, with the portfolio grow. Brick by brick, stacking wealth in the zone. Investor Tribe, that's where the hustle is home.
All right, so Jack, welcome.
Thank you.
You've been around the tribe for a long time.
Yes.
And so we are definitely grateful to have you here and super excited for us to be able to have you here on the podcast today. So you're going to give us the craziest stories.
Yeah.
And you're going to build a roof on the podcast today.
Let's do it.
Like,
So tell us how to
we know
do
this.
what goes into it.
Well, there's actually shingles in the studio.
Oh, there is.
We got them.
Yeah, we got shingles in the studio. See, we're the only podcast that actually brings the real in real estate to you guys.
Absolutely.
We got shingles in the studio. You can't beat that. So let's kind of talk about it. For a homeowner or an investor that never replaced a roof, or what should they expect from start to finish?
And so there's so much to expect. Something that I always tell people is if it's done right, this is the only roof you should ever deal with. You know, most people move every 7 years. And I hear horror stories of, man, I got a roof 5 years ago and I'm getting another roof and, I don't want to pay for it and I'm stuck and insurance can't help me. What do I do? So this is something that should be one and done unless we, live in Dallas. That hill is different. But, in Kentucky, it's a one and done type thing. So.
Okay. And you hear people talk about it's so important in American dream is to buy a house or have a roof over your head. You need a roof over your head.
Yeah.
But a lot of people don't think about, how long that roof lasts, how do we maintain it, what are some warning signs to look for, what are some do's and don'ts. We don't hear the stories to get the tips and tricks to extend the life of the roof, and if you've got problems, maybe how to address them as well.
Yeah, with you guys, of course, being in real estate, how important a roof is. So, at the end, when you're about to close, the guy's like, oh man, that roof looks bad. I don't know if we can loan $200,000 on that thing. And you look at everything that goes wrong in a house. One of the biggest, most expensive things is that roof. And a lot of the times, most people don't have $1,000 laying around, let alone 10 or 20,000. So we like to be a right-hand man in one of the worst situations of a homeowner's experience, quote unquote.
Yeah. So what are some of the most common mistakes people make when hiring a roofer?
Man, so we always like to refer back to, just you feel like you're stuck and some guy beat us. We're really good, but we can't beat everybody to your house. If it's a phone call, if it's a referral, or if we're with the neighbor and you have a missing shingle. So we always tell people to watch out for Butt Crack Bob. Butt Crack Bob, he's everywhere. He can beat us in price. But at the end of the day, it really truly depends on what you want. If you're there for 5-6 months, Butt Crack Bob might be your guy. But if this is your forever home and it's going to your kids, Big League Roofers might be the person you want to work with. So
that's the Investor Tribe first. Have you ever heard of Butt Crack Bob?
No, but I've met his cousin, 12-pack Patty. He just gets 12-pack beer, wants to get on the roof and start hammering and nailing and covering up. I've seen some shoddy work, that we had to correct.
Yeah, man, we've started this special on my Facebook. It's hey, on today's episode of That Ain't Right. And we'll get up and like last week we had a guy that had a pipe boot in the valley and I could see where the water was running down the valley under the boot. I'm like, that ain't right. You called me. You don't want to fix it now. Hey, more power to you. But here's my number. Call me when you're ready. So
that ain't right.
That ain't right.
That ain't right.
So, but yeah, we're here every day, ready to go. So,
I'd like to submit one too. I looked at the house not too long ago and was asked about the condition of it. I know it's been vacant for a while. Seller was out of town. They really want to get rid of this house. And I said, well, has it been leaking? And they go, no, we kind of took care of part of that problem. Yeah. And I said, okay, maybe they fixed the roof. So I made sure to look at the back of the house, and it was kind of one of those little rolled roof, not a whole lot of slope, but it didn't really have any roofing. They put indoor-outdoor carpet.
Yeah.
Just on top of what's the roof.
Yeah, so with the Big League, we work with so many people, and we're at the house with you. So we're not meeting you over line and doing digital. This is in your house, and I think the most common response that I get is, yeah, me and my uncle, we did roofing back in the day, and we kind of know what we're doing. I'm like, awesome. Are you going to be out there helping? Oh, well, no, I got a bad back. I'm like, I'm sure you do. So everybody knows how to do roofing, except it's like when we get to the situation, then they have no idea at all whatsoever. So everybody knows what they're doing until we really get to the jam, and it's kind of just.
If you've got real estate projects coming up and you need any exterior siding, windows, garage doors, any premium products, Benthall Brothers has you covered. They're a local business. They've been around since 1943, multiple locations. They'll even do deliveries. So they're a one-stop shop for a lot of your product needs. Benthall Brothers since 1943.
So I wanted to ask you this because I believe, or somebody told me, you might have told me this, that there is over 800 roofers just in the Louisville area. I know a lot of people watch us from all over.
Yeah.
Shout out to everybody else that watches us. But, just in Louisville, there's over 800 roofers. What's so different about big league roofers?
Well, in a city where there's more roofers than straight cats, there's a lot of things that we can do. Some of these storms. So what we specialize in is insurance claims. So we can push a retail bid out all day long, but where we go over the top is with insurance. So
No pun intended.
Yes. So with the insurance, and there's storms like the one we had in Indiana in April that your dog could get bought for you. You could get the roof. But where we come into play is adjuster has 8 inspections in one day. We're going to make sure that he doesn't rush your inspection. We make sure that he hits all the gutters, the downspouts, the soffits, the grills, everything that's going to get you paid out. And a lot of realtors, half of them don't show up to adjuster appointments. And it's crucial. These guys, believe it or not, insurance companies don't make money by paying roofs out. Our job is to make sure that insurance companies pay the adequate amount. And at the end of the day, the homeowner doesn't get messed over. And the way that we do that differently than other people is that when it doesn't get bought the first time, we're there 2, 3, 4, 5 months afterwards. Because just because it doesn't get bought the first time, you have 12 months to work any claim all day long. And we're not going to give up until we are at the very end and we're at the ledge and we say, now what? So we're going to fight till the end. That's our big difference.
So you're working for the homeowner.
We are full for the homeowner. Everything we do, it's businesses a lot of the times like to go by the theory of, man, I don't live here. It doesn't really matter. It's not going to affect me. But at the end of the day, we come in and it's everything for the homeowner, because one way to truly create a business after being over 10 years in the area is that when you have a roof, your mama has a roof, your dad has a roof, and things happen and storms don't stop. So we're ready for the second referrals, because if you do the right the first time, who knows how many roofs it could end up being at the end. So
we have a saying here, try to keep the program PG, but sometimes nature is a mother.
it is.
So it can really cause havoc on roofs, siding, windows. Benthall Brothers, they do a lot of the exterior. Previously, they talk about some of the damages. The new products are built tougher and withstanding the storms. And how about your shingles? You have a type of warranty and
So and shout out to Benthall. Hunter is awesome. We work with him a lot, and we use a lot of his materials, especially on the siding. So with siding, we've been transitioning to the James Hardy, which is an incredible product. While rather expensive, this is what we're using in Florida, Dallas areas that just don't get stopped. But with our shingles, something that we offer is our GAF HDZ. This is a 50-year, 130-mile-an-hour shingle rated up for 1 inch, and we have other options.
130 miles an hour?
130.
Like what? And I'm not trying to be too dramatic with that, but I'm thinking so the winds that hit our houses are well over 100 miles an hour.
So
I'm not a weather person,
So I always tell people, if you want to know the weather, you ask a roofer. I think.
But isn't that like hurricane?
So yeah, you're right. So with tornadoes, I believe an EF1 starts around 80 miles an hour, and a base grade level shingle, which is usually a builder's grade shingle, is a 3-tab, and those 3 tabs only rated for 60 miles an hour. So just under the last month, we've had 2 rent events that SDF at our Louisville airport has rated between 60 and 70. So what happens a lot of the times with these shingles is the wind comes in and it lifts them up, and it has a seal strip, and sometimes it's able to seal back down and sometimes it's not. A lot of the times, we get these straight line winds that rip these shingles off, and if people don't use the right install. So with the felt under the shingles, you can have a waterfall coming into your living room. This HDZ shingle with that 130 miles an hour gives you that protection, and it's a 50-year shingle now.
That's the 50 years. That's a long time.
50, that's a long time. And so, today's episode is brought to you by Surepoint Equity, the trusted hard money lender. They're helping real estate investors fund smarter and faster. Learn more at surepointequity.com.
So 130 miles an hour. That is.
So I'm wondering, how does that even work? Like, so it's rated for 130 miles an hour, and that's for I would imagine wind and rain. So is that the higher end shingle, or is that where does that fit in the grand scheme?
So in today's age, this is a class 3 shingle. So a class 3 shingle, one step above that would be class 4. The class 3 is something that the insurance recommends and even offers a discount. There's a couple shingles below this, and one thing that separates us from other roofers is they'll bring in, this is called a dimensional shingle. They'll bring in a dimensional shingle, and there's one that's rated for only 30 years, and it's 110 miles an hour. Now you say, from just an outside point of view, that's only 20 years less. I'm 70 years old. I'm not going to be alive then. But the difference between this shingle and that is the thickness. It's paper thin compared to this guy. Something that we do that really helps our shingles stay, though, is the state requires 4 nails per shingle. We put 6 because we want to make it last. We want to make sure that it doesn't go anywhere. You're talking about a massive wind or hail or tornado to really affect our shingles. I don't remember if you remember the Eastwood tornado that went through Beckley Creek within the last 2 months. We were out there putting tarps on the entire house because we could see the living room on the first floor. So one thing to kind of boost our love and to show what we could do is at the end of the street where people were affected truly with no roofs, the guy that we installed in 2022, his roof was not touched. Now, if the tornado touched him, it's of course going to damage. But in the area where you're not even a quarter mile away, there wasn't a missing shingle at all.
So it was a path of destruction. It lifted whole roofs off. It took a drive-through awning off of a restaurant that had just opened up, and they had to redo the whole thing.
That was the one that structurally damaged Chick-fil-A on Bucky Vegas.
Yes, that's what I was talking about. I don't want to mention any names, but it's okay.
Exactly.
Maybe it'll be that. Maybe they're a sponsor.
Right, I know, right?
Let's check you guys.
So you know what? So this is kind of the thing that gets me, and I know you have a lot of experience working with insurance companies. One of the things that really that I'm having a hard time understanding is I bought a 30-year shingle on the house. However, what happened is that the insurance company may not cover me if it's more than 7, 8 to 10 years old.
Or if it wasn't installed properly.
Or if it wasn't, if it wasn't installed properly. But, okay, so what's up with that?
Then there's a lot of things. So truly, and something that really is important, you could have a complete lost storm, but if you have the wrong insurance company and not the right insurance broker, you could be SOL really quickly. There's some new policies ever since 2023 that depreciate your home, and that depreciation is not recoverable. What that looks like is if it was a $10,000 loss and you had a $1,000 deductible and they depreciated $6,000, you have $3,000 that you're going to get paid. You're out that $1,000, and then you lost that $6,000 or that remaining amount. So full recoverable policies are almost a must, and it's worth the extra 20, 30, 40 bucks a month. When things do hit the fan, you're looking at a difference of it's pebbles. But to your question, when the winds come through, we're looking for specific amounts of damage. So when we're talking to one company such as maybe Erie, it's a substantial amount of difference whether it's Allstate. Allstate is, if it's not over 15 shingles, we're not even really considering it because it's not advantageous a lot of the times for the homeowner to make a claim when we know they're going to say no. We're not a roofing company that is on a fence. We either know it's going to get approved or it's not. If it's not, we're gonna repair it and prolong the roof as long as possible and not leave you hanging wait for the next storm. But there's limits. So,
yeah. Well, what type of when you do these installs, you talk shingles at 50 years. Is there a labor type of warranty, or I've heard good things about you guys staying on your product? What what's covered wouldn't be covered under your warranty. If we put a roof on today and we sold the house, does that warranty stay with the house?
Man, so that's a great question. So one thing that we really put our pride on is our warranty. Big League Roofers has got to the point where we've done so many roofs that we are part of the President's Club through GAF. Now, President's Club, without boring you guys about roof talk, means that we've done so many roofs at such an excellent level that if we went out of business tomorrow, GAF knows that our roof was installed correctly and they'll protect it after us.
What's GAF?
GAF. So GAF is our manufacturer. So how everybody knows the Pink Panther with Owens Corning, that's a great point. Ours is GAF. GAF is the longest shingle manufacturer in the country. They've been together for over 150 years. And we always explain to people, it's like Nikes versus Adidas. Do you like the wide shoe? Do you like the long shoe? Do you like the swish? Or do you like, the 3 checks? So it's really the roofer, the install, and the area. If it was your day to lose a roof that day, unfortunately. So,
Wow.
but with us, with being President's Club, there's only 3 roofers in the state that serve as Kentucky. Without naming names, they're all high quality people. It is extremely hard to become President's Club. Even to the point of where our Louisville store is President's Club rather than our Lexington store. While Lexington is performing better than most companies out there, Louisville has been doing some strides that are unmatchable, and GAF recognizes that. So,
Man, that's pretty dope. And so, what's the wildest roof job you've ever had to do? Or you guys had to do?
Or we do someone else's work.
Man,
Yeah.
I got a great story. So I live out in the good town of Shelby County, and we had this beautiful historical colonial home. Now, to be transparent, we love our small 1-story ranches, but this guy, he was 3 stories. He had the swirl carousel things, the carousel porch covers, and we start taking these layers off. We got through 1 layer, we got through 2 layers, 3 layers, and mind you, the insurance company isn't going to be like, hey, this roof's 200 years old, there's probably extra layers under here, let us know. And one thing that we really do well is supplements. So supplements is, hey, we found this during the install, we don't think it's right for the homeowner to pay this, you didn't know, we didn't know before, but now here's photos, pay for it. So one thing we found on this gentleman's roof was not 1, not 2, not 3, but 7 layers of shingles, and the bottom layer being asbestos.
What?
Yes. So 7 layers. So when we got to the bottom, we had to completely stop everything we were doing. We had to go get the guys' masks. So everything we do is completely OSHA certified, and everything is by the book. So at the end, when we got to that layer, we had to get special equipment because our installers keep us going. And that stuff is not to mess with. So 7 layers, got all the way down. Our 1-day job turned into a 4-day job. And after installing the patina gutters and everything, that house is beautiful. But it took way longer than expected. So,
Wow. And so, is there any signs that investors need to be looking out for? Because I can look at a roof like you came to my house, my personal house, and I was like, I didn't see nothing wrong with the roof. By the time you were done, you kind of did this whole report where there was like 25 circles everywhere. You're like, see this part, see this. And I'm like, most people can't even tell. I can tell if the roof is old. Yeah. I can tell that the shingles are buckled, but I can't really tell if they're really. Absolutely. So what are telltale signs that investors need to be looking out for?
Well, so I'll tell you what an investor really needs to find. He needs to find a quality roofer that doesn't charge him for pre-sale and pre-purchase inspections. So Big League Roofers, something we do is we'll get up on the roof before you buy it and say, listen, man, here's the good, here's the bad, and here's the ugly. And if I was buying this home, and we base everything off of if I was buying it today, this is what I would do. This is what I would avoid. Or, hey, you're going to have to wrap this like a Christmas tree just so that you don't have problems before you can even dump it off to someone else. What I recommend is
no investor dumps anything off to anyone else.
Never. They've never done that ever. No. But even if you're in the area of Kentucky or Southern Indiana, Big League Roofers is here to help you with that. But if you're in Texas or Missouri or California, there's going to be a quality roofing company that allows free, and everyone offers traditionally free inspections, but pre-purchase and pre-sale inspections, it seems like that's a great time for a roofer to make $250 extra.
See, there you go.
Because the plumber needs money, the electrician needs money, the home inspector, the guy that's going to tell you if this is your yard or his yard. Everybody has a bill. Now here comes a quality roofer that says, you don't have to pay us anything. Think of us the next time.
Speaking of inspections, so we've got, there's a lot of things that go into a home and the systems and checking everything out. One of our previous guests, also a sponsor, it's Excel My Inspection. So Chad's, he can offer a detailed report, fast turnaround, deep experience. You walk into every deal with confidence once you know what's going on with your house. So need to schedule inspection, go to visit excelmyinspection.com. That's excelmyinspection.com. And ask for Chad.
It's really interesting how you've helped so many people with their roofs. And what are more signs that investors need to look out for? So let's say
talking red flags, Milton.
We're talking red
Yellow
flags, or and I have the yellow flag. So we're looking for issues that investors need to look out for, because I might be on the site and I may not be able to call you immediately. What are some things I need to look for?
So the few things that I would look for, simple little key points. Investors that are moving at a high rate and flipping a lot of homes will do the minimum to get it to where it needs to be. Something that I've learned over the years is if there's only one ceiling in the house painted, there's probably a reason. A lot of the times with leaks, if it's just a pipe and they think they fixed it because they went up and threw some sealant around an area that might have been the leak. If everything else in the house is popcorn ceiling and one room isn't, there's just probably a reason. Or if it's a red flag.
It's a red flag.
I tell you, one thing that is so crucial that I really feel like it's missed is the attic, man. If you're determined to climb up there, or you have a little guy that wants to get up there, the insulation is the first battle of defense after the wood. And if there's clops of just water-filled insulation in areas, there's probably a leak there. I would then follow that up into that room and check it out. But, insulation is a great telltale. And then dark boards in the attic. That's another thing where it'll show you where the water's been running, because the water is going to find the least resistant path.
That's a red flag.
Yeah. Boom.
Yeah, that's a red flag. And so, yeah, really. I mean, so that's how you can tell. So continue.
Yeah. So, with that red flag, and here's the thing. One thing that we've been truly battling for the last few months is hail. Hail's not one of them, unless you're getting softball size. We have 2-inch hail, which is equivalent to like lemon/ping pongs. And when that hits the area, it's cracking it's doing a micro crack in the matting. What happens with that is it's a small drip that happens over time. So if the hail is on Wednesday, you're not going to see major leaking on Friday. But in 6 months, you're going to start noticing little brown drips. You're going to start seeing issues. And I had a mold lady that told me it only takes 48 hours for mold to start growing, which is a major issue, especially if you have a kid that has asthma or something like that. So we kind of just focus on that and try to keep moving forward. So it's hail and just making sure that it's maybe not an issue today, but what about 6 months or a year? Because you have 12 months.
That could be a yellow flag. There could be a yellow flag.
Watch it. Keep it on. Of course. The mold. We had a mold specialist come on here, and he said a similar thing. The mold can form. It just is water. It's food. It needs food and water.
Yeah.
So he tells me once you remove that water source, which could be a leaky roof, you can stop the food. You stop the water source for the mold.
Yeah, and then in the investor side, so thinking about knowing your weather. I mean, this is something that's affecting your livelihood. This is your bank account. If you're not looking at a house as a bank account, and hey, more power to you, but that's what it is. And at the end of the day, if you bought something in January and we had a loss that 95% of the neighborhood is getting a roof in April because of it, a new roof can bring your value of your home up 10%. So, if you have a $300,000 home, you're talking about a $30,000 gain for maybe a $1,000 deductible, which is hard to beat.
So I want to return to something that you were talking about before.
Yeah.
There is a 130-mile shingle, and they were level 3.
Yes.
And if I needed the best of the best on my house to somewhat bulletproof it, so to speak, what type of roof would I have to get?
So So there's two options, and there's reasons why we say one over the other for specific situations. Our go-to traditionally is what's called a malarkey shingle. Malarkey, they're honestly the furthest away that you could imagine, and they're a class 4 shingle. What makes malarkey amazing is while our HDZ is awesome, it's an asphalt type matting. The malarkey shingles are rubberized matting. Why is that important? Well, they take all the way up to 2-inch hail. So when the hail hits, it bounces away rather than throwing your granulars and creating that microcrack. Now, it's not perfect, but malarkey shingles is what we install, like I was saying, in Dallas, Florida. That's what's the roofers down there use, because it is durable. It's made with a completely different material, and it truly is built to last. If you want to stay in the families, though, we have an amazing product through GAF that's called the UHDZ. UHDZs are the same equivalent, 130 miles an hour for wind. They're also 2-inch hail. However, something that they offer in their shingle is AR resistant, which is algae resistant. So with those wavy streak solar lines that you see on houses, that's taken away because, as you know, copper and algae don't mix. You got a pool, throw some copper coils in it, don't worry about algae again. Same thing with the roofs. GAF, though, that some other companies don't do, is they'll offer a 25-year stain guard resistance. So if you see any issues or staining, they'll come out and clean it, which is pretty darn nice.
That's fascinating. I mean, we learned more about roofing in the last half hour than I've ever known.
And I've got an idea for a video, and I'm going to volunteer Milton's face for this.
Oh my gosh!
So just how fast can you get air? How fast is air blow out of a leaf blower?
Man, so it depends on your PSI. When like a 20 volt leaf blower, I mean that will do a little bit of damage. I don't know the exact speed.
Well, I've seen the videos of the dogs that people put their faces, it's just blows like this. Yeah, we can do that with Milton's face.
Okay.
At different levels and just ramp it up.
Yeah.
And just show what damage it can do.
We can show different hurricane wind speeds
to
with
Milton's face. Yes, and or try to have them hold on to the shingles.
Yes.
At different wind speeds and see how the shingles in Milton hold up.
Yeah, I mean,
how much wind that really is.
And if you do
a flag on the play, bro, like
I need the green flag. Where's the green flag?
Get him on the green flag.
It sounds like a viral video if you ask me.
Since you sponsored today, came out to be a
Yes.
gracious guest, I'm going to do my part and volunteer Milton. And I came up with the idea. You should just go right along with it. Drew maybe can help out, but I think that'd be great. You can play along with that.
Do I have a say?
I mean, I
don't know.
2/3 vote, right?
No, I don't have a say. So it looks like I'm doing some crazy, thing here. So there you go.
So you last longer.
I'll take one for the team.
Yeah.
I'll step in there too.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I'm definitely going to take one for the team. And so, you never know what you get on the Investor Tribe podcast, which is, so so this is hilarious here.
But you know what you're going to get when you get shingles done with big roofing and the warranty.
That's right.
It's a challenge. If this podcast gets 1,000 views in the first 2 days, I will do that.
I love it.
So I'm going to tell it yes. I'm not like.
So you know what? Here's the thing. So if you guys I'll do this challenge only if we see 100 likes. So you can click on the comments. I'll do the challenge, but I gotta see 100 likes while we're, that day of the episode dropping.
By the end of the next day.
By the end of the next day, we'll do it. We'll check it 24 hours. Comment, like, and subscribe. You can find us on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and X. You can find us on Spotify or wherever you listen to podcasts. That's INV Tribe, at INV Tribe on everything. And so we want to thank you for hanging out with us, man.
Thank you.
You brought props. Yeah. There's a challenge that's out of this, man. We're so thankful that you joined us. You've been a member of the tribe. You taught at Flip Savvy course. So we're super excited to have you. Will you come on out again?
Absolutely. Honestly, anytime that I can be around people that know more than me, that's where I want to be. I think that at 80 years old, you have the ability to still be a sponge. And if you're not learning, you're doing something wrong. So
Yeah, that's definitely amazing. And so my name is Milton,
And I'm Hampton
and we want to catch you on the flip side of the Investor Tribe.
The Investor Tribe podcast is brought to you by The Investor Tribe, all rights reserved, featuring Hampton Scurlock and Milton Aldi, executive producer Drew Cookenmaster, produced and distributed by Bespoke Marketing.